kick it.
Hello, Nickelodeon fans, and this is This Week in Nickelodeon History. Now, before we get into the past, let's get a little bit into the future here. A lot is dropping on Paramount Plus this May. They're definitely continually bolstering their Nickelodeon section, and I like how it's slowly trickling out instead of... I mean, I would have absolutely loved for all this content to be on Paramount Plus day one, but I like this method because it's more to look forward to. You can pay attention to what's there, and then as more are coming down the pike, you can then, swap over. But on Wednesday, May 5th, tomorrow, happy May the 4th, by the way. I know this is a Nickelodeon centric podcast, but, there's a lot of Star Wars parodies all over Nickelodeon history. So May the 4th be with you. Tomorrow, May 5th, Harvey Beaks Season 1 and 2 drops on Paramount Plus, and Noggin's Rhymes Through the Times, first season there. Next Wednesday, on May 12th, we'll have the first season of Action League Now, and on May 19th, we will have the second part of the first season of Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, culminating on Thursday, May 27th, when the brand new Rugrats show, exclusive to Paramount Plus, drops. Now that is going to be an absolutely massively big day. And I don't know if Paramount Plus drops all episodes at once or if they trickle out like Disney does on a week-to-week basis. So I wonder if we're going to get a full season out of Rugrats, or if we're just going to get an episode or two episodes or whatnot. But definitely, I will probably be reviewing that more on this show than I will, obviously, on the Squarecast. If you're a listener of both, then you can expect the Rugrats review on this part of the show. But let's look back on this week in Nickelodeon history. And we start off 2 years ago on May 8th, 2019. The Dude Perfect Show finished its run of 48 episodes and 3 seasons. If you're not familiar with the Dude Perfect group, they have been making content since 2009 all the way on YouTube. They're made up of Tyler Toney, Kobe Cotton, Corey Cotton, Garrett Hilbert, and Cody Jones. They have been making absolutely fantastic sports and trick shot videos. Some of their videos have just amassed tens of millions of views, even in some cases hundreds of millions of views. And what I like about their content over time is, even though they're called Dude Perfect and you get those incredible shots, I like seeing the amount of times that they fail, because even though they're called Dude Perfect and you'd want to see the perfect shot done in one go, and there have been a few cases in which they get it on the first try, but I've learned to appreciate the amount of effort it takes to get some of these shots done. I mean, they have a whole ton of world records beaten. They have just amassed this super popular group here. They have partnerships with Nerf. There's a whole line of like Dude Perfect Nerf products. Super cool. And then they got their own television show here with the Dude Perfect Show. 3 seasons and 48 episodes. That's a good run right there, in my opinion. Especially for doing something that people can just watch on YouTube. There's not really there was this whole time on television where television companies were spending so much money to get in these YouTube, personalities, and it never usually works out. In the end, your TV show kind of runs its course, and then you're just back making content on YouTube. So even though this ended 2 years ago, these guys have just continually been putting out content on YouTube. And honestly, if I can recommend any piece of their content to just go out completely blind, look out for their golf videos where they use a multitude of different sports equipment for their golf challenges. Like one hit can be with a baseball and a baseball bat, and then wherever that lands, you got to throw a frisbee, and then wherever that lands, you'll get like a horse. It's something, like a kickball or something. I don't know. Super fun, super incredible content. That's the Dude Perfect Show 2 years ago. 5 years ago, on May 2nd, 2016, The Loud House premiered on Nickelodeon. Created by Chris Savino, who has a storied history with Nickelodeon. Not really a great end there, but The Loud House has been one of Nickelodeon's biggest cartoons in so long. It was actually super refreshing to see The Loud House get as popular as it was, because it finally felt like another show could at least rival SpongeBob in popularity. Like, here comes this show almost out of left field, just it swells in this massive popularity, to the point that not only is the show still going on to this day, 5 seasons, 111 episodes, including a live-action movie that's debuting on Nickelodeon later this year, and a animated movie that is going to be airing on Netflix later this summer, which, should be noted, originally was going to be a theatrical released film through Paramount. Not only did the show spawn all these extra films, it also spawned a spin-off series called The Casa Grandes, which itself has been running since October 14th, 2019, and seemingly is just as popular as The Loud House is. I have not watched a full episode of The Loud House, but I've heard nothing but good things about it, and it is a show I do expect at some point, probably closer to when the movie releases, that I'll probably check it out. But it's still going strong to this day. I mean, I can only say this as an outside viewer. I have seen some fans of Nickelodeon mention that over the last few years it's kind of dropped in quality or just dropped in viewership. Either way, it's a Nicktoon that has got to run longer than most Nicktoons have in the last decade, so that alone is just refreshing to see. It didn't suffer the fate that a lot of these shows ended up going through and being just kind of booted to Nicktoons. It's had a very decent run, and if it does end after this year, I mean, look, 5-6 seasons, a movie and a live action TV movie, that's not that bad of a deal for a cartoon. 8 years ago, on May 8th, 2013, The Troop finished up its run on Nickelodeon. It was created by Max Burnett, Greg Coolidge, and Chris Morgan, and finished its 2-season, 40-episode run on May 8th. Never seen this show. Never came across my screen there. Definitely was on Nickelodeon at a time that I just wasn't watching Nickelodeon. But man, this is crazy. We were just talking about how the Loud House avoided this kind of stigma that was going on around the time. Apparently, the second season of this show got moved over to Nicktoons Network. This is a live action show. This is not a Nicktoon. The second season premiered on June 25th, 2011, and canceled the series midway through its second season, and the rest of the episodes finished running on Nicktoons, with its series finale airing on May 8th, 2013. So it's crazy that was even happening to live action shows. 12 years ago, on May 3rd, 2009, the final part to the Fairly OddParents Wishology premiered on Nickelodeon. We actually covered part 1 of this last week, the big beginning. Then there was the exciting middle part, and then the final ending. This was a 3-part TV movie series by the Fairly OddParents. Tried to be this big epic story that told its story not only by the end of each episode, but continued on to the next movie. It was just this big event going on from May 1st to May 3rd, and it finished up its run there right on May 3rd. So I definitely remember watching this live. I watched all 3 movies 3 days in a row. But I don't remember them as much as I do other Fairly OddParents TV movies like School's Out, like Channel Chasers, like Abracatastrophe. Ones I've already mentioned before many times. One of the things I do want to mention about this is the guest roles that they got on these movies. Not only were they able to get Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley from Kiss to voice some characters, but they also had Brendan Fraser voice Turbo Thunder, who is a character throughout these movies who believes he is the chosen one, based off of very small, it's basically like Pink Hat and Buck Teeth. It's supposed to make you think maybe Timmy is the chosen one, but then there's also this character, Turbo Thunder, who shows up throughout these 3 movies. But yeah, that's Brendan Fraser. So shout out to Brendan Fraser. Shout out to the Fairly OddParents, and that was Wishology. Also 12 years ago, on May 2nd, 2009, My Life as a Teenage Robot finished its run on Nicktoons Network. The show, created by Rob Renzetti, ran for 3 seasons and 39 episodes, and is one of the mishandled shows of Nickelodeon's history. We've mentioned a few of them before. Shows like Chalk Zone. My Life as a Teenage Robot is one of those bizarre ones because it took 6 years to air 39 episodes. They were just holding on to these episodes for seemingly no reason whatsoever. They kept constantly airing new episodes at different times. I mean, how do you expect a show to become popular if you're constantly messing with the way fans can get in touch with it? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. My Life as a Teenage Robot started out as a short on Oh Yeah Cartoons and was one of the last ones to be picked up as a full series. The first few being Fairly Odd Parents and Chalk Zone. Eventually, My Life as a Teenage Robot aired in 2003, even though its short aired all the way back in 1999. And its first 2 seasons didn't really run without a hitch on Nickelodeon. There was just a lot of kind of just airing mistakes here. And the entire 3rd season, just throughout Nicktoons Network run, it could have been... It would have been one thing if they would have held that season on Nicktoons Network and made it a big deal as they did Invader Zim, but it just kind of felt like they aired them and it was done. It's like, our hands are clean. We're done with this. It's certainly a popular show. It's got such a unique look. It's got style. It's got great writing. Definitely worth your time if you have a Paramount Plus account or if you have another streaming service that features My Life as a Teenage Robot. Definitely check that out. 13 years ago, on May 2nd, 2008, Zoe 101 finished its run on Nickelodeon. Created by Dan Schneider, it ran for 4 seasons and 61 episodes. One of the show's most popular teen dramas of all time, Zoe. And last but not least, 20 years ago on May 2nd, 2001, On the Team premiered on Nickelodeon. I was actually meant to bring this up earlier this year, but missed out. But this show originally premiered on January 30th, 2001, exclusively on Noggin, before Nickelodeon started airing it on May 2nd. The show is a 13-part documentary series about a Little League baseball team that was produced and created by Lisa Wood Shapiro. I think it was pretty interesting and definitely something that is kind of right up Nickelodeon and Noggin's alley right here. It's kind of weird that it started airing on Noggin because as far as I remembered, Noggin is just a preschool stuff. So maybe at the time they were airing more content on its network that was beyond the preschool level at the time. I have no idea, but yeah, I just figured that was. Or I know that there's The N, which is definitely more of a teenage thing, but after doing just a little bit of research, both are one and the same. In fact, The N is what takes over the Noggin network when it kind of goes to bed. During the day, it is Noggin preschool content, and during the evening, it is The N, where it's aimed towards more of a teenage demographic. So that's where this part aired. For On the Team. And with that is This Week in Nickelodeon History. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate each and every one of you who tune in each and every week to listen to me talk about Nickelodeon stuff. If you would like to support the show in any way, if you're following this show on any audio or video platform, subscribing or liking or anything that you can do from your platform is already a step up, but you can also share this show to anybody that you think would enjoy it. So if you can ever do that for me, I am truly appreciated. And that is This Week in Nickelodeon History. We'll see you next week here, folks. Have a great night. On the Lord, Nick. On the Lord, Nick. On the Rickety